Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, former Blue Angels boss announces retirement. WingX Pro gets an upgrade. RC model aircraft flying will be permitted at AirVenture. I'm Bree Cross. It is June 17th, 2015, and this is Airborne Unlimited. Captain Gregory McWherter, the former commander and lead pilot of the Blue Angels, has announced that he will be retiring from the Navy after 25 years in uniform. A year ago, McWherter was officially reprimanded by the Navy for allowing a culture of sexual harassment to continue in the Blue Angels organization during 2 stints as its commander between 2008 and 2012. In a post on the Support Boss Greg McWherter Facebook page, McWherter wrote that the development is wonderful for both him and his family. He wrote, quote, "Both personally and professionally, the news certainly gives me a reason to reflect on the past 25 years, end quote. McWherter's message continued, "I would be lying if I said carrier aviation and the mission of our naval service weren't important to me. They were, are, and always will be. And yes, the flying was a blast. But my memories aren't filled with catapult launches, arrested landings, missions, and air shows. It's filled with faces and names. Those people that I was privileged enough to meet, know, and work alongside over the course of 2.5 decades. Here's some news for those of you using WingX Pro on your iPad. The version 8.5 upgrade now includes a new feature they have named Traca. Traca enables pilots to create or modify a route simply by drawing the route on the screen. Traca also includes advanced modes of tracing, such as snapping to navaids, airways, and other known points. The Traca feature allows the pilot to draw the route on the moving map, which permits easy routing around mountains, weather, large bodies of water, or along rivers, roads, or valleys. To use this feature, you select the Action drop-down menu from the arrow in the upper right corner of the screen and select Traca from the list of options. You will then be presented with a menu of Traca options. WingX Pro 7 version 8.5 with the new Traca technology is available now in the Apple App Store. After the break, model aircraft flying at AirVenture is not just for the kids.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. It is quite common for those of you who are interested in recreational aviation to also dabble in model aircraft. EAA has announced that AirVenture 2015 will now allow RC aircraft activities to take place in a designated area on Pioneer Airport. This area will allow the operation of small UAVs, drones, and model aircraft. Not only will you be able to watch the action, you can even make arrangements to bring your own aircraft. This added area is in addition to the indoor drone cage at AirVenture's Aviation Gateway Park, just northwest of the control tower. Through EAA's coordination with the FAA, AirVenture attendees will be able to operate a small RC model, which means 5 pounds or less, in this designated area from 7 to 10 p.m. for each of the 6 evenings at AirVenture. EAA's RC policy uses much of the existing Academy of Model Aeronautics Model Aircraft Safety Code, and those operating these aircraft at Pioneer Airport are required to be AMA members. Please be sure to check the EAA AirVenture website for the rules and restrictions involving this new activity at AirVenture. With some 2,000 Aero-TV programs webcast to cyberspace, sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
They'll tell you that it's been very smooth, very easy, and I think we've got a lot of compliments from the pilots, and it's just going very, very smooth for us, and we enjoy it.
In 2014, when the Light Sport Aircraft Expo needed controllers in the tower at Lakeland Airport, the FAA tossed them a curveball with high prices. The solution was to hire private controllers from AirBossInc. This video shows how these pros got it done. Search AirBossInc on Aero-TV's news channel. After these messages, work gets started on Bell's V280 Valor.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, NavCom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B ATX100 and ATX100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Bell Helicopter has begun assembly on the Bell V280 Valor fuselage. Delivery of the first fuselage to Bell's facility in Amarillo, Texas is expected later this year. First flight of the V280 is planned for the second half of 2017. Calgary-based WestJet Encore has signed an order with Bombardier for 5 Q400 aircraft. The airline also signed a firm order for 1 Q400 aircraft in March 2015. The transaction is valued at approximately $200 million. When Hillary Clinton recently held a rally in New York City, the FAA did something it rarely does for a candidate. They established a TFR for the airspace over the area. We don't know if this will be a standard procedure. The Army has overturned its decision prohibiting the burial of Staff Sergeant Thomas Florek in Arlington National Cemetery after an appeal from his parents. Sergeant Florek was one of 10 troops fatally injured when a helicopter went down off the coast of Pensacola in March. We are sorry to say that John W. King, former Chief of Public Information at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, passed away on June 11th. He was 84 years old and had participated in the early spaceflight launches of the 1960s. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. The North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina Board of Zoning Appeals voted unanimously last week not to approve a new helicopter tour business that wanted to base in the Windy Hill area of the city. It's reported that more than 100 residents of the area attended the meeting to express their opposition to the business, which was proposed by Florida-based Venture Engineering. The arguments against the business were pretty standard fare in such matters. Residents said the business would lower their property value, increase traffic, and generate a lot of noise. Venture Engineering wanted to offer helicopter tours over the Barefoot Landing area. Venture's president, Steve Powell, said that he was disappointed that the community was so strongly opposed. He said that the company would continue to work to see if a compromise could be reached. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.